All right. Can we all stand, please, for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, welcome, everyone. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blanton?
Here.
Mr. Volrath?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
All right. Can I get a motion for the acceptance of the minutes from the January 21st, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees?
I'll make a motion for the acceptance minutes of January 21st, 2026, the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I need a motion for the acceptance of the February 2nd, 2026 special meeting of the Board of Trustees minutes.
I'll make a motion we accept the meeting or the minute. February 2nd, 2026 special meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, and then I need a motion for the acceptance of the minutes from the February 3rd, 2026 special meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Same, make a motion for February 3rd, 2026 special meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I get a motion for the acceptance of the invoices paid to date.
I'll make a motion that we accept all invoices as presented by the fiscal officer over the last month.
I'll second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
And Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right. Sheriff's report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sergeant Sewell with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, standing in for Lieutenant McElroy as he's still out medically. So for the month of January, we had 268 dispatched runs. 210 of those were police details and 58 were non-billable. For service exchange, there were 180 occurrences with Miami Township car being requested outside of Miami Township. They were sent 138 times. They were disregarded or otherwise handled 42 times. There were 56 occurrences of county cars being requested into Miami Township. They were sent 37 times and they were disregarded or otherwise handled 19 times. We did take 9 criminal reports in the month of January and 7 non-criminal reports. There were 11 auto accident reports that were filed in the month.
Great.
Do you have any questions or concerns that I can address this evening?
Any questions from the public? Anything from the board?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right. No public presentations. Administrator report, please.
Good evening, everyone. Last month I mentioned that there was some confusion with the county engineer's office on the Jordan Road water line. We found out why the gentleman who was taking care of it in the engineer's office was out. He's back. Everything's been worked out, so their final information is probably at this point on its way to hopefully to Cleves by now for their approval. The West Park expansion, we had a meeting last Friday. Trustee Blanton and I were there along with Maintenance Director Wayne Miller and Mark Rosenberger from Bear Becker. Everything's going along nicely down there. They're progressing well. And we still think that a summer opening is in the works. I wanted to mention that the District Advisory Council meeting to the Board of Health will be held March 10th at noon. That's typically the president or his designee, so if Tim will be able to be there, that's great. If you're not, you can ask Dan or Mike to go in your place. There's a seat open this year. Tracy Putoff is not going to re-up for her term. Tracy's been a great board member. I had the pleasure of serving with her for a lot of years. So she'll be missed, but Mark Rosenberger has put his name in the hat for that seat. So I would like to see us attend that meeting and support his candidacy for that board. I think he would be a good board member. That would require him to step down from the Board of Zoning Appeals, but I think he would serve well at the Board of Health, especially with his water and sewer knowledge. Moving on to grants program, we're continuing to work on gathering information for a mini planning grant for Bridgetown Road, so we'll let you know on that. I attended the annual OKI meeting, and I was able to talk to some folks there that would be the people we need to contact about anything that we might want to do with them on State Route 128. The county engineer's office had indicated that that might be our best bet for funding for a project up here. So that was a good meeting to go to. Events and communications, Mike and Lindsay and I met last Friday. The bands are set up for the summer concerts. Those dates will be June 19th and August 7th. We're continuing to work on other events like the America 250. Lindsay will be having the extravaganza. We'll be here on March 28th. And Shred Day will be April 25th. So watch out for information about that. But while that seems a long way away, it takes a lot of planning on that. And so those are a couple dates that are coming up for her department. The Bridgetown Road sewer crossing, we had talked about that a couple months ago, and there's some problems with that I'm meeting with Ian Lansky and Dave Siegert about that next week, I think. So I'll let you know more about that after I find out. They were concerned that if we put that crossing under Bridgetown Road, that the Board of Health would then require people within a certain distance, whatever the state law is, that have to hook to that. I told him I thought we could get that under there and get a variance for that. In the meantime, the lateral that's going to go down past UDF and handle James Landing, they're going to put taps in for the properties across the street that aren't hooked to city sewers. The problem is those taps would require a fairly shallow crossing under Bridgetown Road, and each homeowner would have to run under Bridgetown Road. That seems like a lot of risk because they're talking a 6-inch lateral. There's a water main there and a high-pressure gas main that they would have to maneuver under. So while the folks at MSD feel like one shot under the road would be better, we've got some things to work out with the health department and MSD on that. So we're continuing to work on that. You may have forgotten by now because it's almost the end of snow season, but back in October, we approved buying a truck from Rush Trucking, outfitted with a new snowplow uplift. The delay in that ran into the Napa-Hide upfit of that truck. I saw them at the Township conference, and they said, oh, it'll be done in 2 weeks, and I think they just told me that to get rid of me. They were behind on a truck to Whitewater. They're behind on a truck to us. They're now saying we may get it in the next couple of weeks, so a little late for this snow season, but it'll be available for use during the summer, and next year we'll be ready for the snow. One of the things that now that I have on the agenda for later tonight, our employee handbook. That's been a big project. I think we have that ready to roll. But in the audit notes was mentioned that we do not have a public records retention plan. Just so you know, that's a large project. When Dan Reed was here, I had sent him the information on what we did at Whitewater for that, and he didn't have time to do it. It will be a huge undertaking. It'll be a big job for the fire chief because they're our largest department. So they've got a lot of work to do on that. But my predecessor at Whitewater left that to me, and I thought, oh, no big deal, I can do that, until I saw what it involved. And then I knew why he left it for me.
The last time we did it was I did it in the 90s, and I
Yeah.
won't do it again, so have fun.
It's gotten better,
I'm sure it has.
yeah.
But it's not easy.
No. So, but we'll be doing that, and I'll be leaning on Miss Dave for help with that, along with everything else that I have her do.
Yeah, Kim.
Yeah, yeah. So I mentioned the employee handbooks on your agenda, and one thing that I just popped onto this for yesterday, I spoke with Kenny Swanson, the United Dairy Farmers project manager for the new store. They need to get access to part of our property so that they can clear enough room there to put their retaining wall in. And so I asked him to meet me on the site, and he said, do you think there's going to be a problem with that? And I said, no. What I'd really like is for you to, while you're there, and I don't want the guys to reach too far and run a piece of equipment over the hill, and I'm not expecting them to come onto our property, but I said, if you could clear as much of the honeysuckle and scrub out of our property that you can while you're there, then we'll have our maintenance department do the rest, and we'll make our side look good because they're going to spend a lot of money on landscaping back there, and it's an opportunity for us to make it look really good. If we need some fill dirt to grade up in that area, Tim Helms at James Landing has volunteered to bring us dirt over. So we'll be able to make that area look nice. And the James Landing area behind our walking trail out here, he's going to put a really nice area in. And I'm also going to talk with Wilhelm. I don't know what they actually call their company now, but Wilhelm Lumber was going to do the clearing for UDF if they cleared more area over there. They did the clearing for James Landing. I'm going to have them come in. Tim Helms is going to bring them over, and we're going to look at the dead trees that are out here and see about getting those cleared out. And we'll get a price on that, and I'll bring that proposal to you. So,
Jim, we can use dirt, they need dirt down at the park. If he has excess dirt he needs to get rid of.
yeah, they talked about that because,
Did you ask him about that?
yeah, I think he actually has a sign up over there, free fill dirt. So he's going to have a lot of extra dirt there.
Well,
So,
we need it down at the park that we were just talking about that in that
Yeah.
meeting.
yeah, well, Ohio Site Solutions knows about that.
All right,
So, yeah, I thought the meeting on the park went really well last Friday.
I did too.
Even though they had put some new gravel down, and we had about 2 inches of rain the night before, so it was still a sloppy, muddy mess, but it was a good meeting. So, and our thanks to UDF for working with us to help us on our end. It'll save us a lot of labor, and won't be a lot of work for they'll have a machine on a track hoe that they can reach over the hill with and get what they can. So we'll get our area looking nice. They'll have a nice looking area, and everything should look good out there. And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
So I got a question. So you're talking about where it goes over the hill into the they call that the Blue Stream?
Yeah, we have to stay away from that. So they're aware of that as well.
That hill, they're not taking all of it down, are they?
No, just the scrub. So as a matter of fact, that was
Because a lot of it, I would think, is help holding that hill up.
yeah, that's the first thing Kenny said is I won't let them take anything that is going to be rooted to help stabilize that hillside. So, and they're experienced at that. I'll probably just hang out there while they do
They know
it.
about the Blue Stream?
Yeah,
They know about that, right?
yeah. We had talked about an option.
Who's going to get fined if they don't know about it?
Yeah, they had talked about perhaps bringing their grading down further, and I think it would have looked nice, and they would have made it look really good on their end. But when they found out that that Blue Stream was there, that kind of eliminated them being able to do that. So I talked with their engineer, Dave Laurie at Abercrombie, about that, and whenever you mention a Blue Stream, that just kind of scares everybody. So they couldn't do what I thought would have been a better plan for them and us, but we just have to be careful what we do there.
Okay. Okay, any questions from the public for the administrator?
Yeah, Jim, the grant for Bridgetown Road, what's that all about?
So Hamilton County offers many planning grants for coming up with a plan for what you want to see on Bridgetown Road. So when Mike and I talked with the county engineers, they told us that the problem with the roundabout here at Shady Lane was not enough people get hurt here. But they said to me, and it was right after I started here, and I had to call Mike and say, how would you feel about me taking your $4 million roundabout project and making it an $8 or $9 million project? And to his credit, he didn't just hang up on me. He said, well, you better have a really good reason. I said, well, in talking with Fred Schlimm, he said if we would do something from Dog Trot to Shady Lane, that Dog Trot has enough accidents that they might be able to help us with that. So fast forward now to last year at the Township and Municipal League meeting, I had a talk with Mike Odioso and asked him if he could help us with the corridor here. And he said, yeah, but what's your long-term plan? And I said, well, we actually want to get to the Township line. And he said, well, we could at least do to Power Road, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, come up with something from Dog Trot to Power Road, and I'll help you with it. So while working with him, I'm also going to be applying to the county for some money to work on something, a turn lane at Dog Trot. I think we need a turn lane at La Rosa's. And I haven't run all this past the trustees yet, so they're just learning about it. Either a roundabout at Shady Lane or a turn lane, at least there. And then on down to Power Road, however we want to do that to make it work with our land use plan. And he's going to be on board and helping us with ODOT in getting that done.
So the roundabout, what you're saying that we've been working on for X number of years is not out of the question yet?
I would say it's on life support, but it's not out of the question yet.
You're basically saying the grant would be for lane widening?
It would be for, it would just be for the planning. And then, as I mentioned, probably our best bet at getting money for that is through OKI. That's a little more paperwork and a little more work for Cindy. But it's our money. We'd be getting it back from the government, and I don't mind doing the paperwork to get the money.
So basically, it's just for drawing plans right now?
Pretty much.
That's the general beginning. This could be years down the road.
I would hope to do it before I retire or pass on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we need to make informed decisions. We had 1 million renderings of the roundabout over those, well, now a decade that's been going on. However, if we're going to potentially expand that and look at that whole business corridor, we need to have our ducks in a row. And if we're approaching ODOT, if we're approaching OKI, if we're approaching, any of the county, Alloy, any of these development groups, we have to have that in our hands so that we can go have those meaningful discussions. So that's the goal.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to come down to cost too, I think, because it's a state road one, then county, and then the township. And that's how it should be. I feel that's how the money should be invested in this project. So being a state road. Now I don't think you know this. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we did a study, requested a study at Dog Trot in Bridgetown.
I didn't know that.
I know you don't know that, that's why I'm telling you. So we have that somewhere in our files, Kim. So, and we wanted to help put turn lanes in there to alleviate the traffic and congestion there a little bit. And they did the study and turned us down, the engineers turned us down for it. And said there wasn't enough traffic, and I forget exactly what it all said, but we did request a study and it was conducted, and that's probably 5 or 6 years ago.
And who did the study, the engineers on it?
Engineers, Hamilton County engineers.
So while I was at the OTA, it's OLTA, and I'm not sure what it stands for. It's the Ohio Department of Transportation people who track accidents. I got them to send me the information on traffic accidents on state roads here in Miami Township. So I have that up-to-date information to start this study off, so to update things.
Well, we might want to read that.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
inquire with the engineers department on what's changed, how much stats changed from that year to now.
Yeah, and I'm surprised nobody down there bothered to mention that, but,
Yep.
so still hope.
Any other questions from the public for the administrator? The board, Mike?
I just got my questions.
All right, let's move on. Department reports are available for people to grab and look through. Let's move into old business. First item on the agenda is resolution number 2026-02, which is a resolution adopting noise control measures. So, Mr. Brett, do you want to go through that?
Yes, this is an update of our previous noise resolution from 2022. And this is what Mr. Reynolds has been to the meetings and been asking for. Our last, well, and the sergeant just left. So our last noise ordinance resolution, rather, didn't allow for any fines or anything for the sheriff's department to cite the people for. So we asked Alex to look at that and revamp it, update it, and this is what he came up with. It covers everything that the old resolution did, along with some extra things, and also puts a fee schedule for violations as a civil fine to violating these, and that will give the sheriff's department some teeth with what we're doing. This is based on Columbia Townships, which is currently being served by the sheriff's department, and the administrator at Columbia Township said that they are enforcing this our resolution, so there's no reason that the sheriff's department shouldn't be able to enforce this here. Before Lieutenant McElroy went out on leave, I had given him a copy of what we were thinking, and he took it and never got back to us about it being unenforceable, so I think we're good if we decide to pass this.
Right, it appears to have 4 different pieces that this adopts here. One is for...
That's what I'm looking at. I mean, is this all part of it? Exhibit A?
Yes.
Yep.
It's fairly inclusive this time.
It looks like this addresses areas that have a D permit issued by Ohio Division of Liquor. Goes into criminal penalties for passenger cars, motorcycles, internal combustion engine noise on streets and highways, and noise detrimental to public health. Prohibit noise that's unnecessary within the township is described herein. So looks like those 4 pieces what this addresses.
And I think just as important are the exemptions, so that people don't think we're going to try to regulate away everything. There's a large exemption section as well. I think that's important also.
I think a noise resolution comes into play when people have been asked multiple times to stop. I don't think they get cited the second we come up. I think that this is some teeth for some things they've been warned and warned and warned and warned and warned. They just keep ignoring. So this is the teeth to that.
Yeah, and I think we can trust the sheriff's department to exercise judgment in first or second complaints, but there have been some, not just Mr. Reynolds, but some other areas that folks have complained and complained and complained about. And it used to be if you went to your neighbor and said, hey, my kids are trying to sleep, could you cut this out at a reasonable time? People would do that, and people aren't the same as they used to be, so unfortunately, we have to take steps to make people be more neighborly.
I certainly appreciate it. I think that it's good to have those teeth, and I think that the appropriate levels, the first fine is $150, and the second or subsequent fines would be $250 up to $1,000. So again, that gives those deputies the discretion to, within that pretty large range, to decide whether someone's attempting to be compliant or whether they're just thumbing their nose and not caring. So,
Mr. Blaine, any discussion on this?
I have nothing.
All
I
right.
have no discussion.
Okay, can I get someone to make a motion
Sure.
then for Resolution 2026-02?
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2026-02, statutory resolution adopting the noise ordinance measures for Miami Township.
I'll second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay.
So and the reason that that's 2022-02 is we actually started to consider this in January. So that's why it's under old business and that old of a number.
All right, and then the employee handbook approval.
So I had got a final copy of all that to everybody, and the one last edition that we did was we decided that what we had in there for a drug and alcohol policy was not quite as, trying to think of a nice way to say it, was not quite as inclusive as the previous drug and alcohol policy, so we swapped out what was in there for our existing policy, and I think we're ready to go with that. This is a living, breathing document. We can update it and change it, and I expect that we'll make at least annual updates for the first few years as we run into things that we didn't anticipate.
And I would say, I think it's long overdue to have an employee handbook, so.
Yeah.
All right, any discussion?
I've been begging for this since 2 months into my first term, so I'm absolutely thrilled. Thank you, Mr. Brett, and Ms. Day for guiding us up to this point and getting it here. I'm glad that we were able to have the HR firm contribute to this and give us some guidance and expertise in the HR side of things. And like Mr. Brett said, it is a ongoing, living, breathing document that we can continue to revisit, but at least we have something in place, and I think that's a good thing to limit liability and make sure things are handled in a consistent manner going forward.
Well, I believe all three of the trustees suggested some changes to this document that we incorporated. I want to thank Ms. Day and Chief Schuman for working with me on that to kind of get, Ms. Day is the person who is kind of our unofficial HR person, and we could probably use an HR person, but she does what she can in between her other duties, and I really appreciate that. But everybody had input on it, so I think we're in a good place on that one.
Mr. Blaine, any discussion?
No,
All right,
I think it's good. It's good for our township.
somebody make a motion, please, and to approve the employee handbook.
Make a motion that we approve the employee handbook as presented by our administrator.
I'll second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, we're into new business. All right, meeting decorum, rules for conducting Miami Township meetings, rules of civility and decorum of public meetings, purpose of policy here, and I believe there's some copies. Have you got some copies sitting out of this?
I don't tonight, but I could have Ms. Day make some if anybody'd like one after the meeting.
Yeah, I think this is a document that helps to guide meetings, how they go, civility, decorum, all this stuff will be sitting out there.
Online?
Yeah, they'll be on the website once they're approved, yeah.
Do you want to get deeper into what this is and does?
Maybe just the purpose of the policy.
Yeah, we don't
If I can read that section. It's section 1 of our proposed decorum. Public meetings are essential to the democratic process and shall be conducted in a manner that is open, fair, orderly, and respectful. These rules of civility and decorum are adopted to ensure the public's business is conducted efficiently, to protect the rights of free expression, and to maintain a safe, productive, and harassment-free environment for the elected officials, employees, and members of the public. Nothing in these rules is intended to prohibit lawful expression of opinions or robust debate on matters of public concern. These rules are intended to solely to regulate the time, place, and manner of conduct so that the meetings may proceed without disruption. This is kind of a big statewide push that apparently there have been some school districts in particular, and I think some municipalities as well, that have limited discussion and limited information sharing. And that's not what our board is all about. We're all about letting people know of everything. So while we expect everybody to be respectful, they can expect respect back. And these are just some rules that will allow us to conduct the meetings efficiently and let the people have a chance to have their say.
Mr. Robertson, any discussion?
So I actually attended one of the many sessions. I attended the Ohio Township Association Winter Conference as well, and one of the many sessions that I sat in on was regarding this topic. And I think it's, again, another great step that we're taking this evening. I think that it's been a frustration in the past where there's been inconsistencies as far as who's called up to the podium, who's not, who's identified themselves, who's not, whether folks are, acting respectfully or not. And frankly, the idea of our meetings is to conduct the business of the township and not get into just a back and forth battle. So I think that this is a good step. I spoke with the attorneys up there that presented this topic, but I hope we can continue these kind of things going forward. So,
Mr. Blanton?
I don't have anything on it. I think it's good for our township. I think it's good for our meetings instead of the past. It's what's happening in the past, so I'm all for it.
All right, can I get a motion to move forward with the rules of civility and decorum of public meetings?
I'll make a motion that we pass Miami Township rules of civility and decorum for our public meetings. That's
second?
Mr. Blanton?
yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
So, and just so everybody knows, I'll have a small sheet available at the entrance to the meetings that will kind of have the cheat sheet notes for that. And if anybody has any questions, they're going to be out there online. And if you have any questions at all, just feel free to call me or stop by. So.
All right, next on the agenda is the approval of full-time fire department member Sean Cross. Mr. Robeson, you and I were here last night, the pinning ceremony.
Yep.
Seems like a very nice young man. Mm-hmm. So can I get a motion for the approval of full-time fire department member Sean Cross?
Do you want to as fire? Since you oversee the fire department, do you want to make it yourself or?
Sure. I'll make the motion to move forward with the hiring of Sean Cross.
I'll second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
And by the way, Sean is from Mason, Ohio. He's going to be moving out this way. And but he is a part-time member here now, so he's kind of homegrown, and we're familiar with him. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk with him for a few minutes last night. He's very excited. So, all right, next on the agenda. This has been an item that's popped up a couple times. Safe Haven Baby Box approval, cost, and authorization. So, Inside the packets, what you'll see is kind of the pieces here for that Safe Haven baby box. The initial fee on this piece, it's broken out, it looks like, into 3 places. The initial fee is $16,000. Then other costs to consider in the fee can vary based on location and service, $500 to $7,500, and then the annual alarm service on this appears to be about right around, it's around $300 annually. And thought on this would be as well to have there's an internal camera in that baby box that would be an Amazon Blink camera, $500 inside there. So I know this is something that we've had conversation about. I think it's overdue to be done. Get some conversation from the board here, Mr. Robison. Anything?
No, I mean, I've talked to the executive director of the Cincinnati Right to Life about it a couple of times now, and I actually been to their offices. So it's, again, the only thing that I wanted to make sure is that any legislative or legal issues that had been in the past had been resolved, and she assured me and others have assured me that all that's good to go, and otherwise I was supportive of it from the start. Again, I proposed it back in 2022, I believe, and support it still today. So I think it's a good thing and ready to move forward with it.
Mr. Blaine?
Yeah, I'm very supportive, and I'm ready to move forward with it also. So the Delhi saved one child's life, which I think is wonderful. If we save one kid's life, whether we don't save any, it's still worth it. And I think it's a wonderful thing that we're able to do this for our township and for the people that live here.
I would like to see when we do this as a motion here, I would say probably up to $25K would cover everything.
I think so
here.
too. That's what I was going to suggest. So we'll make a motion to up to $25,000 for the administrator to enter into the agreements to proceed with the Safe Haven baby box, and I'll make that a motion.
And I will second. I just want to make sure that Chief Schuman's all up to speed on all this, correct?
He is, and one of our firefighters, firefighter medics, has really taken an interest in this, as well as a lot of the folks over there.
Sure.
So she has volunteered to kind of head that program up on the fire side.
Great.
And I think it's a great show from our firefighters that they're involved in this and want to see it happen as well.
Very good. Well, then I will second the motion.
Okay, Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, next on the agenda, approval for the township administrator to advertise for the RFQ and for the administration event center exterior refurbishing, and to seek quotes for the fire department portion of the building. Brett?
So this is a project that we had hoped to get finished last year. And it's just kind of between the contractor that we had on board that wanted to quote it and the people who supplied the timbers for this building, we couldn't get everything together. So I want to put this out, but aside from just pressure washing and maybe bleaching or whatever, the wood that's just regular wood, I found a company, at least one, and maybe two, that can do that, and or they can corn blast, which is what the manufacturer of the timbers recommended, corn or ice blast, at least the large timbers where the lettering is. So what they told me they would do is they're going to do this proposal as just pressure washing it and bleaching it. And then if it doesn't meet our requirements, they'll give us an alternate price to come back and corn blast those areas. So if we're going to do it, we want to do it right, obviously. And everybody looked at the pictures that we have online of this building, what it looked like. And I think everybody we've talked to, at least 3 possible contractors, have said, wow, we want it to look like that again. So Hopefully, we'll get at least 2 bids, but I'm confident that the one company said they could do it and said they could do it this year. And so we'll get this out to them. We'll put it on our website, and hopefully we can get some pricing on it. Aside from the wood part, I also want to get the painted part of the firehouse redone before it gets bad. So we'll be asking for an alternate price for that, and we'll just see where everything comes out at and see how much money we can spend this year. We also, the parking lot is getting in fairly bad shape, so I had Southwest Ohio Ceiling, who did the tennis courts for us a couple years back. Believe it or not, a couple of the what were hairline cracks last winter or fall before we went into winter are now like 1/4 inch cracks or 3/8 of an inch cracks. So I had them out to look at that, and they're going to be able to crack seal that with color matched, and so we won't have to redo the whole surfaces like we did before. And so they also gave me a price to seal coat and restripe the parking lot. Hal Asphalt had given us the price last year that they'll need to update. So if we get the outside of the building done, get the parking lot redone, the place will be looking good again. We've got some work to do to the walking trail out back and things like that. So matter of fact, the seal coat folks gave me an alternate price to do this walking trail as well, just so we know what that is. So I think we're moving in the right direction. If you are good with me putting this out to bid.
You need a motion on that from the
Yeah.
board? Okay.
Yeah, this is important enough of a project. I wanted you to approve the.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of discussions over the last couple of years, and I know that there's been several folks that have reached out to me and Mr. Brett about the exterior here, and frankly, we don't like to just spend money, but at this point, it's we might be spending more if we don't keep it up and in the long run. So something that it's time to get on, in my opinion.
Mr. White?
No, I got no discussion about it.
All right.
I think it's good. I think we need to keep up,
I would agree. I think it's
keep our
more
building
important.
up, keep it looking nice, especially now, so
Okay.
I think it's a good thing.
All right, I guess I need a motion then for the township administrator to advertise the request for qualifications and proposals for the event center exterior refurbishing and fire department portion of the building.
I will make a motion that we approve for the administrator to put a RFP out for the Shady Lane Event Center administration building exterior wood timbers, wood siding, and trim restoration and staining.
I will second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes.
And Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right. Next on the agenda, approval of Kessler's turf service for the service of the Parks and Administration Campus. Mr. Brett, you want to?
Yes, so last year was our first year with Kessler's. The gentleman who did the work before just got too old to do it, and he apologized for not being able to continue his service. So we gave Kessler's a try. They did a good job. We did miss getting this campus included in that bid last year, but once we figured out that, we got them to add it. They were up and took care of it right away. This will not include the new park expansion area. I'm not sure how much we'll have to do with that. And I think the one thing that Wayne did not get included in this was the Pat and June Memorial Park. So we'll have to get them to add on to that. But for right now, if we can approve this, we'll get them to add on the Pat and June Park. Wayne said he might want to do that himself because there's such a small area.
Yeah.
So I'll check with him on that.
Right.
So, but when the new West Park expansion is done, we'll have some more fields and things. And rather than let them get out of hand, we'll get them treated and get them started as soon as that takes place.
Yeah, we got to keep up with our parks and keep them nice. So I think it's a year-to-year
And it's in essence almost the same amount of money as last year once we added this campus to it.
It is.
Mr. Rivers, any discussion?
No, as long as we're pleased with the, what services they provide, and if we're confident that the proposal is in line with what we would need or expect to pay, then I'm good.
I'll make a motion that we approve or go with Kessler's Pro Turf that we previously went with last year at $23,760 for
Second.
the year 2026.
Second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, now, something on the agenda that's near and dear to my heart because I've been locked out now at least 10 times.
Yeah.
Is the approval for the
Yes.
entry door at the administration building. I don't know why these doors have to be such an issue, but approval for the repairs to the entry door at the admin building, Wellman Construction, total costs are $8,240.
Is it this doors right here?
These doors and also the entrance door to the event center.
Why, we just put the new locks on, why are we replacing the whole door?
Actually, Wellman was back today because Mr. Volrath couldn't get in again, and
And I couldn't get in 2 nights ago.
yeah. And he actually had it apart, so I got to see the parts that are worn out, and the adjustments are just gone. The parts are so worn that they have to be replaced. And Mr. Wellman is supposed to be the, quote, expert on these type doors. And he tried to adjust them, and he said they're just wore out. They won't hold. The
And we
parts
can't
are.
replace the parts?
That's what we're doing, just replacing the parts. We're not replacing the doors.
And it's 8,000?
Yes, sir.
Just for those 4 doors?
Yes.
Good Lord.
You don't want to know what a new set of doors cost.
In addition, they're the high-volume, heavy traffic, which increases the use and price of them, because evidently there's doors that they don't consider high traffic, and the mechanisms that are in there, they were ground down to just metal shavings because of the amount of usage that we have on the doors, so they have to have heavier equipment.
They were actually amazed when we told them how many people come through these doors a year, that they lasted this long.
And that's
So-
just repairs.
Yeah, I should have put a note to be sure you're sitting down when you read that amount.
It's almost done.
Is he late? Yeah, but never he.
All right, any discussion?
That's
Well, I mean, again, it's one of those tough pills to swallow, but with a price tag like that, we need functional doors. And frankly, again, with all the events, everything that we have up here, this is the hub of Miami Township. We have all these weddings, all these, so we got to get it fixed. So if that's the cost of doing business, and that's what we need to pay, but
That's when it started.
it has been frustrating, and I also couldn't get in yesterday. And of course, there's always somebody standing out there looking at you going, what's the problem? So,
All right. You get a motion for the approval of repairs to the entry door? Construction?
I'll make a motion that we approve the repairs to the entry doors at Administration Building for Wellman Construction at a total cost of $8,240.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, and then next on the agenda is street signs, request for no parking, Trail of Fiddler's Green, and then there was a handicap parking designation on Andor Acres. Mr. Brett.
All right, I'll start with the Trails of Fiddler's Green. In your packet, you'll see some pictures that we took and were sent to us. So this has been ongoing for almost a year. The president of the HOA at Trails of Fiddler's Green contacted us about parking on the right-hand side of the Trails of Fiddler's Green as you turn off of Fiddler's Green Road, saying that the no parking sign that was attached to one of our signs was missing and they'd like it replaced, or it started with the lady on the corner who wanted to know why she couldn't park in front of her home. So we went down and looked, and the no parking sign that was on our sign post was not one of our signs, was not something that we had installed. So Mr. Miller removed it. Then the Trails of Fiddler's Green Homeowners Association called and wanted their sign back. And when I told them they couldn't put a sign there, they said, well, we want the sign back, and wanted us to place a sign there. So the Ohio Revised Code does not allow parking within 30 foot of an intersection. Other than that, my opinion is we would have to get Alex to investigate it to see if we could make a no parking area further than that and put a sign someplace else. They would like a sign placed back on that signpost, which in your pictures, in your packet, you can see where 30 foot is, and that is probably 10 or 12 foot before the driveway, the first driveway on the right. And that home is not part of the homeowners association. It was there before the subdivision was put in the rear. You can also see next to that, we have a signpost that they were talking about that's 124 foot from the intersection, and that would limit the homeowner on that corner of being able to park in front of her home. So there's a couple signs, or a couple pictures that I put in there that they had a complaint of restricted access during the snowmageddon that we had. And I talked with Wayne, they didn't have any issues with it. There was a car parked on the street. It was parked all the way down to that sign, so it would have been probably a good 90 to 100 foot off the intersection anyway. They also sent a picture they took last fall of 5 cars parked alongside the residence there, and the closest car to the intersection would probably be 1 car in front of that sign. So I have a call into the school district to see if the buses are having any issues, but they haven't complained about that. And I know that the Village of Cleese had some complaints about some street signs and things, and they dealt with that years ago. And so the school's not afraid to call and let you know if there's an issue. So the homeowners association had asked their residents to email or call us. We got probably 7 or 8 emails, about 3 phone calls, and most of the emails were asking to put the sign back where it was. One of the phone calls was a more complaint about people parking on Fiddler's Green, 2 doors down on Fiddler's Green, saying that when people parked there, they couldn't see the oncoming cars. So that's something I referred to the county engineer's office for them to look at. I explained to her that we had no jurisdiction over Fiddler's Green. And one of the other calls was from a young lady who said that she understood why they wanted it, but she had never experienced any problems there. So probably 10 to 2 in favor of putting a sign back. It's up to you if you'd like to do anything with that.
Where does our maintenance superintendent, Mr. Miller, recommend?
His recommendation is we don't.
What does the sheriff recommend?
The sheriff had no issues with it, and I actually discussed that with Lieutenant McElroy before he was off. They've had no issues there. The opposite side of that street is no parking fire lane. Right. Fire chief looked at that last year. We did replace a couple signs that were missing there, and they mysteriously went missing again. So when the weather gets a little better, we're going to put those back and ask the sheriff to keep an eye on those for us.
Can we put up a trail camera or something there? I mean, if these signs keep disappearing, probably something, if we catch somebody, we can prosecute them.
I was going to suggest that. So, Mr. Miller and I both think that the sign 30 foot from the intersection, we do that on some of the smaller streets, but we don't do it on every street in the township, and it would be a pretty large cost if we had to go to every intersection and put a sign 30 foot from the intersection, no parking. So he thought we shouldn't get in that business just because of the cost of the signs and things. I don't see the need because they're not.
Recommendation 124 feet or not?
I'm sorry.
What is Mr. Miller's recommendation?
His recommendation is no sign
At all?
at all.
Okay.
So unless you want to extend that area for no parking, and that would, then prohibit the homeowner on that corner from parking on the street in front of her house.
So, two things. Have we heard from the homeowner? I spoke with someone from the HOA within the last day or two. Admittedly, I know you had provided these photos, but I have not been able to physically go out there and look at it. And it seems like this is, we get this all the time from different neighborhoods, and I think that we need to decide whether we're handling things on a case-by-case basis and looking at the merits of it and the whole situation, or if we are adopting sort of a consistent approach to how we handle all of these requests. I wouldn't mind being able to go out there and visualize it myself. And I don't know if there's any sense of urgency of why we need to make a decision tonight, or if we can, revisit this at our next meeting. And I know you mentioned about needing to check with Alex. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is something that I felt like it was a legal opinion on what we can do. Normally, I would have called the county engineer's office, asked them what the policy is, and went with that. But we're asking Frost, Brown, and Todd all our legal questions, so it needs to go to them. But if you weren't going to entertain the idea of a larger area than 30 foot, I wasn't going to bother to spend that money with Alex. And if I wasn't really thinking you would make a decision tonight, but just give me some guidance on what your feelings are.
Mr. Miller's recommending we don't put it back up. And is that what the homeowners?
The homeowners association would like
I just want to make sure.
a sign back there. I'm not sure.
124 feet to keep the lady from parking closer to the curb or intersection.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the legality of that would be. We'd have to check.
Okay. And then our superintendent is recommending that we don't put any sign up.
Correct. Because if we put up a sign 30 foot from the entrance there on a street that wide, everybody could
And then we'll
want
have to
that.
go throughout the township.
It's kind of, I think the, slow children playing signs are good for the communities, but we just can't put them everywhere because we don't have that kind of money to spend on the roads and on signs.
Yeah, I would say my first initial piece would be let's get a little more information on this. But I think consistency is something that we need to have. I think you look at every situation, but we got to have some guidelines here or something to go off of. So I would get maybe some more information from Alex.
We have the ORC at 30 feet. Alex is just going to tell us if we're allowed to put it at 124 feet or not. But if we choose not to put up any sign, we don't have to get that legal opinion. That's what I'm leaning toward. If superintendent's recommending that, and then we don't have to go back and do the whole township at 30 feet, as we said. So.
I have a question, could you just
We
paint the
can-
yellow line on the curb?
Hold on just a second. We can always go back if we vote tonight to not put up a sign, which is a recommendation of our road superintendent. We can always go back if in the future if we need to alter it or anything. So,
I would like to add that the president of the HOA had said that this was more a summer problem with people gathering there. So, Mr. Miller and I will continue to monitor the area, and if it becomes a problem, we will certainly bring it back to you with a different recommendation.
do we need to vote not putting a sign up?
No, you can just direct me to not do anything.
We could go with that, then we can always go back and revisit it if it becomes an issue. I'm okay with that.
And if it does become a problem, obviously, we want to make sure there's sight distances and
Right.
everything's followed.
Sure.
So I think we act on it then.
Yeah, by all means. Then move forward. That about the handicap.
So basically, we're just not taking an action, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm going to still go out and visualize it myself and try to talk to the HOA because, yes, he did say that, I guess, the homeowner there, I think, has a pool, likes to entertain, has a lot of gatherings at Memorial Days and Labor Days and 4th of July and all that other stuff. And so I want to make sure that we're considering all things. I know this wasn't on the agenda, and it sort of just came to my mind as you were talking, but we're talking about whether we need to engage Alex or whether we don't need to engage Alex on this. And that's our legal representative, essentially, our law director. Previously, I had a discussion about whether the policy that was adopted, and I don't remember when it was, I think it was like August-ish, something like that, that said that everything needs to go through our legal counsel. And I think that this is becoming burdensome for our administrator, for our staff, to try to determine whether they do need to have everything go through them. Frankly, an attorney who's familiar with it said that it's unenforceable. I don't have a copy of it, obviously, because it just, like I said, that just jogged my memory, but I would like us to consider rescinding that. I don't remember if it was a policy, a resolution, and what form it took, but I think that that's problematic on a number of basis. I think it's restrictive, and frankly, if it's unenforceable and potentially illegal, I don't think we need it on the books, and it's also confusing for our staff. So I don't know if that's something we deal with tonight or if that's something we consider next month, but I think that I'd like to see us rescind that. Yes?
Question, have you approached the county engineer? He's the engineer for the township. In a question like this, I think should be submitted to Eric Beck,
Well,
county engineer, for an opinion.
Mr. Beck, and that's the problem, is that the policy that this board adopted says it all has to go through legal, but if not, Mr. Brett could just call the county engineer and say, hey, let's and get clarification.
We can reach out to the county engineer for an
The
opinion.
county engineer will make an opinion on it.
And we can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It was on legal matters, and still the county engineers are representative, like you said, and we can get an opinion from him. There's nothing that's prohibiting us. That policy is not prohibiting us from that at all.
Well, there could be a legal challenge to it, and I think that, again, it puts our staff in a predicament where they have to try to decide whether something is considered legal or not. And again, darn near everything these days could have a legal impact and be a potential liability to us. So I just don't like putting our staff in that position.
I am happy to take a look at that policy, but I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I'm happy to take a look at it.
I'll be glad to put it on the agenda for next month, and I'll try to give you some examples
I
of.
think you need to reach out to each of us individually on that before you just put stuff on the agenda. I was going to bring that up too. I think you need to reach out to each trustee individually before you just put stuff on the agenda at will.
So I think everything that's on the agenda is pretty much
No, I know
somebody's
this.
request.
I'm not saying it's not,
Yeah.
I'm saying this.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
All right.
So
Right.
we're going to address the handicap parking.
Yeah, now we're on to the handicap parking designation on Jandar Acres. Mr. Brett?
So I think this one's a little more easy to digest. A resident, it was actually her son. His mother lives at 7721 Jandar Acres. That's I believe, a 4-family building, maybe a 3-family. She's handicapped. The off-street parking for that building is behind the building, and actually, there's a full story in the basement, and the parking lot's actually lower than the basement floor. So it's really not accessible for her. She would like us to designate a handicap parking space in front of the apartment building, and there's room for that. When I was there I think that was about 3-4 days ago, there were 2 cars parked in front of the building. The second car was parked fairly close to the mailboxes, so that may become an issue with, we may have to not allow parking there if the mail service has problems with people parking there. But that one I did talk to Alex about, and while I don't have it totally prepared, I do have a resolution that we could pass this evening to allow Mr. Miller to go ahead and designate that as a handicap parking spot.
Mr. Robinson?
No?
No? Mr. Plant?
No, I'm all for it. I think we should. Do you have a copy of it, Jim?
Yes.
All right. Do you
So,
wanna-
would be Resolution 2026-05, resolution adopting accessible parking.
All right.
What was the ending? I'm sorry.
A resolution adopting accessible parking.
All right.
Per the Ohio Revised Code, Section 505.17, which authorizes the Board of Trustees to adopt regulations and orders necessary to control all vehicle parking on streets under the jurisdiction of the Township.
I'll make that a motion that's read into the record by the administrator.
Second?
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda, social media policy. Mr. Brett, you want to go through this?
Yes, this is also something that came about from our Ohio Township Association conference. This would just be a policy that we would have to get, once again, legal counsel to approve it, but it would restrict people from, actually just, if it's all right, I'll just read the list of prohibitions. Would restrict people from posting on our social media abusive or threatening actions towards any individual, violating any law or individual's rights, fraudulent or deceptive speech, repetitive postings or spam, off-topic or not relevant topics, solicitations or advertisements, off-topic comments unrelated to the particular social media item being commented on, or unrelated to the overall Facebook page, comments in support or opposition of political campaigns or ballot measures, comments that promote particular services, products, or political organizations, personally identifiable medical information, commercial material or spam, duplicated posts from the same individual, obscene posts or profane language and content, sexual content or links to sexual content, conduct or encouragement of illegal activity, comments and content or information that may tend to compromise the safety or security of the public or public systems, and comments that violate the privacy rights of others. Also, because we don't monitor our Facebook and YouTube accounts 24/7, In accordance with recommendations of the Ohio Township Association, this policy would prohibit all third-party tagging of Miami Township Facebook's page, and that would be prohibited. Any content that violates this policy may be removed in accordance with applicable law and township policy. So this is, again, something that came up at the Ohio Township Association. I expect we may see a lot of that with the property tax issue that's coming up, and I don't think we want our Facebook page or our website to be used by either side to promote that or fight against it.
And
So,
that's also suggested in the audits too.
yes, it is.
But yeah.
Yeah.
What was it on?
In the audits, the audits.
In our
have been-
audit notes,
It's just suggestions, so I do think it's a good thing.
Any discussion, Mr. Rose?
No, like Jim said, it was brought up at the OTA. And, I think it's just another one of those things we're getting with the times, something you got to deal with.
Mr.
Yeah,
White?
I think it's good for our township, but the only problem I have with it is we need to, accessibility and the input should be down to our administrator and/or his assistant and/or a designee by the administrator for the board. I don't think it should be one of the boards should be able to alter, delete, or do anything else on our website, Facebook page, or our YouTube account. I want that in the motion.
I would certainly agree with that. I think limiting this to the administrator, maybe Ms. Day, would be the right way to do this.
Or an appointed designee.
My issue is that I don't know that we have anyone familiar with social media enough. So I wholeheartedly agree with you both. I know that there's individuals that and firms and groups that contract, and I think that Mr. Brett and I could certainly look into that and make a proposal. But I don't think that Ms. Day, Mr. Brett, or any of the non-fired personnel are familiar enough in utilizing the social media platforms. And again, a lot of the larger townships have a communications staffer, and that's their job. I don't know that we need any of that, but there's a lot of, again, folks that could do it on a contract basis, and I don't think it would be very costly whatsoever. I think that I'd be happy to work with Jim and bring a proposal or two to the board.
Actually, iPanda, who does our website, I think does offer that service. So
Nice.
as long as Mr. Robeson's willing to work with me through this transition, I think that would be great. And then it takes any pressure off the three trustees. And if you remember, we had decided that Ms. Robers was going to try to take that over, and it just never happened. So I think this might be a good time to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll need a motion to move forward on the social media policy.
Make a motion that we approve social media comments policy as presented by the administrator to be reviewed by legal counsel.
I'll second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
So Jim, you will reach out to them and have something for us?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
By the time Alex gets done with it, I'll have something from Iona, and I'll get something from someone else that we can find
so
it.
we can go off of.
So we can just, not that I don't trust her, but we'll check the price.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Next thing in new business is the approval for the purchase of a Bobcat 72-inch sweeper bucket, replacing an 18-year-old sweeper, cost $5,969.20.
So the The sweeper gets a lot of work, especially when the park floods, and as we all know, that happens fairly annually. And when they started doing the maintenance on it this year, basically the bristles are brittle, and they're breaking off, and the bearings are bad. It's outlived its useful life. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that the price was that low. And I think 18 years out of the old one was good, but it's time to get them something better.
Mr. Rose, any discussion?
Nope.
Ms. White?
No discussion. I'll make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the Bobcat 72-inch sweeper bucket, a total cost of $5,969.20.
Second.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right. Public comments. Anyone have anything they want to address the board?
I just got one comment.
Go ahead.
When we're telling what the reports are for our maintenance people, we need to make some kind of maybe publication on what they're doing for maybe 3 or 4 months on our website, so that way that people know what's going on.
It's in our report. It's in our report. We can post it on the website.
Well, that would be good.
We can put it on the
That's
website.
okay. That way, since we're not doing the report.
They stay busy, I can tell you
Oh,
that.
I know they do.
They stay busy.
Actually, I think we could post the board packet.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we?
So,
Where's the Jordan water stand? I told you they were gonna pull up and roll out.
Mr. Brad?
you missed that because that was the first thing in my report.
You should have done that. Give us
well-
some Jordan Road people great.
So right now they're working on an alternate plan for the creek crossing on East Miami. Otherwise, that's what they were supposed to be doing right now. And the hiccup that we had with the county engineer, we found out why the gentleman wasn't available for that. There was a legitimate excuse for him to be out of the office. But they've been down there, they've worked that out. I don't know for sure if they've gotten the information to the Village of Cleves yet, but all that's done, the county's approved it. So it's no real big change for the Village of Cleves, so I don't expect that to be an issue for Justin. But they're working on those plans, and ideally, by the time they get back, the blacktop plants will be open, so we won't be paying winter rate for the blacktop, and we should be moving right along here in the near future.
Do we have a finalization date?
Not yet,
Because
because
I thought it was the end of January.
that was the original, and we've had a couple of things that have held that up, but and quite honestly, I don't think we lost a lot by not having them there during the cold weather and the snow.
Right.
So
How many feet do we have left? Are they on the third phase or not?
they're ready for the third phase, but there's an alternate plan for the creek crossing on East Miami, and until Cleves Waterworks has a chance to look at that, I don't want to go into a whole lot of it. I think it's going to be beneficial to the village, but we'll see what Justin and Rusty have to say about that when
I
they.
was going to say, have you been in contact with both of them?
Yeah, Craig has been in contact with them on that.
Okay.
So basically what they're suggesting would eliminate that pipe across the creek, which is something that I know Mr. Winhusen was concerned about. I was concerned about it. And if we could eliminate that, that would be something that, that's one tree away from floating down during a flood and busting that pipe and causing them headaches like you wouldn't believe. I think this is a good alternative, but I'll let them decide what they want.
So by the end of next week, can you send us an email and tell us exactly where we're at?
Yes.
Talk to Cleves, talk to our contractor, and
Yeah.
Because I haven't
Actually-
seen an email on it in weeks.
Yeah, with the cold and the snow, it just hasn't done anything.
But then we'll be able to bring everyone up to speed.
Yes, yeah. So, and ideally, before our next meeting,
But that
you'll,
pipe's been there for 70 years. That bridge on East Miami will be gone long before that pipe. That bridge is rotted out.
so
Where?
I would hope.
It'll go long before that steel pipe goes.
I would hope. But like I say, it's one tree floating down the creek could wipe that out, and, you know, it's just,
That shouldn't have no effect on our water
Well,
coming up Jordan.
It only affects
That
the-
just feeds East Miami.
It-
That's not gonna feed us.
it affects the crossing of the new pipe over that creek and how they do that. And I'm not gonna provide a conjecture on what I think Cleese Waterworks will want, so I'll let our engineer and Cleese Waterworks work that out, and we'll do whatever they want. It's gonna be their system, so however we can do it best for them is,
So that water ain't happening this year.
oh, yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah.
Mr. Moreland. Better.
Jim, I want to ask you, and I want to clarify this in front of everyone here. I think the homeowners, the two homeowners at the end are not understanding this properly. Phase 3, do you have a drawing on it, and it is finalized where that main's going to go?
It's,
From where they stop the 1,600 feet to these gentlemen's houses?
yes.
You do
It's-
have a drawing on it?
They have a drawing. My understanding it's to Cleese Waterworks and the EPA. They're expecting EPA approval soon, and Cleese Waterworks is reviewing it, waiting on the EPA approval. And, yeah, once the EPA and Cleese sign off on it, that part can happen. The really concerning part to me right now is crossing that creek and how they're going to do
I
that.
understand that. The crossing of the creek is only supplying water to Jordan.
Correct.
These gentlemen want to know why the pipe's not moving forward to their residents. Phase 3 is only an addition because we as a township messed up.
Correct.
So their pipe is close to phase 2 at the end. We need to move forward with their phase, but they're wondering why the contractor can't move ahead. But you're telling me it's up to Cleves Water, Justin Habig, and the EPA to approve the drawing that some contractor has drawn.
Correct.
And that contractor is the same firm that drew the existing part, correct?
Yes, and the holdup was getting Hamilton County out there to decide where we could put that line.
Exactly. I know there was 3 different proposals to cross that next creek or culvert, however you want to say it.
Correct.
I don't know which one they came up with, but evidently they came up with a solution. And I think the contractor came up with the solutions and gave you, the township, 3 different numbers on how to do it. And I don't know what they came up with.
The contractor has been great to work with. They have priced probably a dozen different ways to cross those creeks on what's already been done, what's proposed. They have been great to work with in helping us with that. And I can't be happier with them and the job that they've done. And they've just been over backwards to make things work and to help us.
So within the near future, these gentlemen should see construction continue forward. Because it can continue forward with no water in the pipe. There's no water in the pipe right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Yeah,
And the contractor, I know for a fact, is the one that came up with a different proposal to cross East Miami River.
yes,
To tie in, to not go under that culvert. Am I correct? He came up. with-
they were never gonna go under Jordan on East Miami. They were gonna hook that onto the bridge.
They were gonna,
And it was going to be heat taped and wrapped. And they think they've come up with an alternate that might not require that heat tape. And that would then not require an electric service. And that would be less maintenance in the future for Cleese Waterworks. I think it was a good plan. But again, I'm going to let Cleese Waterworks decide what they want.
okay, so basically the job is on hold.
I-
It's up to the contractor to come back when he is got the approval from?
I think once they get that creek crossing, that's what I've kind of said, that creek crossing right now is probably the holdup, and I've not heard anything back from our engineer for about a week on that. So for all I know, they may have worked that out already, but they haven't told me if they have.
I know
And
they didn't pull their iron out because they're ready to go.
yeah, it's still there. So
That's all I got. And one other thing, and the crowd here, tell me, do you have a hard time hearing sometimes our trustees?
Can't hear for it.
I mean, we got,
Well, I'll speak up.
we got
Yeah.
this big microphone we spent a lot of money on the last couple of years. It doesn't seem like it's turned up working. I can hear Mike and I can hear Jim. Tim, I can hear
Ours is not even
sometimes,
on.
but Dan, I can't hear you at
Some
all.
are not talking close enough to the microphone.
Well, I'll speak up, I can speak up.
I mean, just for.
And I will-
Mine's not even on.
I'll answer this to you about the mess up on this. So, and I agree with you, on phase 3, at the end of next week, we should be able to get a start date back for phase 3. And like you said, the creek crossing should have no bearing on getting that installed.
Right.
Totally agree with you. And then you said the township messed up. I don't think the township really messed up, because I went out there and met with Mr. Brett, J.S. Held, and Abercrombie, and they both confessed to messing up the yardage, that they didn't come out and and manually walk it like they should have. So that's where the mess up came on. It really wasn't the board, and Jim, I'm not throwing this all on you. He's our administrator though, and I guess we should have looked at it closer. But JSL and Abercrombie confessed to me and Mr. Brett that they did mess up, they dropped the ball, didn't do what they were supposed to do. So that's why how that phase 3 got,
Oh, I understand all
Put
that.
it
I
out.
don't mean to bring that back up and throw anybody under the bus. I've got
So-
different feelings on that. When a drawing is out, and every person in this room's got the opportunity to look at a drawing, and if you're our trustee or whatever, we need to know where it ends.
you know, I totally
And
agree.
when the engineer went out there and put the survey stakes out, anybody could drive up that road, and
I
that
know.
gentleman right there said repeatedly it wasn't coming far enough. But we're past that. Let's
We are
not get
definitely
back
I
on
know,
that.
you brought it up, so I just wanted to comment
I know
on
we
it.
don't want to point fingers. Let's get beyond that and get a board that works together here. And I don't want to pick at you guys. I don't want you to think I'm picking at you. I'm just telling you, as a guy that comes here continuously, month after month, I'm looking out for the homeowners. The homeowners don't see no progress. They want to hear what's going on. These men, 5 years we've been waiting. They've been waiting on this. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I have a couple things I want to ask, but I'm just sitting here listening. I want to make sure I heard correctly what you were telling me as far as phase 3. What was your explanation on why phase 3 is being held up? Where is that right now?
the holdup on that, as it was explained to me by our engineer, was Hamilton County had to approve where that line would go. And once they approved that, he did the drawing, and he was going to send it off to the EPA for final approval and to Cleves. That's the last I heard on it.
Well, the reason I'm asking that, and I'm not obviously officially affiliated with Cleves anymore, I just asked Justin by text message, he's in a finance committee meeting, and I said, what is the holdup on phase 3? And his answer was the only holdup is their engineering to be approved by the county engineers. There's no other mention in that. So which one is it? Is it the Ohio EPA and Cleves is holding it up, or is it the fact that the engineers' plan for phase 3 has to be approved by the county engineers? Because that's what he's saying right now.
They told me that they had an approval from Hamilton County. Maybe it was a verbal, but they had an approval and the plan. So, well, if he doesn't have it yet, then they just haven't signed off on it. But they have an approval.
That's why I
It's
brought up
drawn.
the question.
So I've seen the drawing, so
I'm sorry?
I've seen the drawing of where that's going to be placed.
I
So
just want to make sure that when you're taking a look at the questions we're being asked tonight, what I heard was they're waiting now on Cleves and the EPA approval. What he's saying is the only holdup is their engineering to be approved by the county engineer. So he knows nothing about what you just said.
Well, that's why it's hard to offer conjecture on these things when we're at a meeting like this.
Well, I would just say this as a commentary. You know this is not going to be a new topic. This topic is going to come up at every meeting. You know that the residents down here are expecting an answer. So when you talk about the term due diligence, that means being prepared coming in here with accurate information, okay, that you can get. You know with 100% certainty where it stands. So right now, from what I'm hearing is we don't have 100% certainty. And that's where the problem comes in. They're looking for answers. They've been looking for answers for years. Dan was working on this years and years ago, trying to get this thing through. So I'm just saying that they're looking for solid, accurate answers. And I think that's exactly what Mr. Moorline's asking for. Accurate answers, exactly where it stands.
In my initial report, I explained what I knew as of today.
It was very vague, what you said.
Because I don't have all the facts, and I was trying not to mislead people, but when people want more answers, I give them the best that I can.
I'll get the direct quote because I taped it.
Thank you.
But it was very nebulous what you were saying. I myself am sitting here going, what is it that Jim is saying there?
Well,
I mean, I don't remember exactly what the words were, but when you're sitting out here and you don't have the documents that you have up there, it's sometimes very hard to follow. And that's why clarity is extremely important. So that's just my commentary.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comment?
I do have another question, but it's not related to this.
Okay.
A few months ago, you had somebody come in here and ask the question about the repair of the message board out there. And that's been an ongoing problem too. And I know I haven't been here for the last couple of meetings. Is there an update on that at all? I mean, where are you as far as repairing that message board?
I'm really not prepared to discuss that right now because I would give you what I know, but it would be.
No, that's fine. I just was wondering. And the last question I have deals with your noise resolution. Well, actually, two things I'm looking at. One is on the noise resolution. You said that was in Columbia Township, and you felt there would be no issue with enforcement.
I said if the sheriff's department can enforce it there, they should be able to enforce it here.
What will they go to? I mean, if you have to cite somebody in to get your fines collected, does that go to municipal court? Where would that have to be filed?
I'm not sure where they would cite that to.
And then the last question I have is, may I have copies tonight of the noise resolution?
Civil.
It would be municipal.
Your resolution on the meeting decorum rules.
Yes.
Can I have a copy of that tonight?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
A question on whether there was any plans for America 250 celebration. A number of municipalities have already made some overtures. There's nothing that I can see in the township minutes or on the website relative to that. I'm just curious.
What, Trustee Robeson, maybe answer?
So we have, again, part of our two summer concerts. One is June 19th. And that was sort of designated as our big America 250 celebration. So we have the Michelle Robinson Band as the featured act, and we're actually talking to another, Lindsay is talking to another artist that may do sort of a warm-up act, and that's not something that we typically do. We have been pricing out drones, fireworks, food trucks. I mean, a lot of the things that a lot of other groups are doing, but that's something that we have been talking about months in advance. Our events manager took another job, and so it was sort of delayed a little bit, but now that we have a new events manager in place, kind of picking up from where they left off. So
There's a meeting tomorrow night with other municipalities to talk about events, so I was just curious if I hadn't seen anything. Make sure there isn't a redundancy on the same weekend, or not that big of an area to have everybody go
Sure.
in different directions.
yeah, and I've talked to Cheviot, I've talked to Green Township, I've talked to Coleraine Township, a lot of other folks, and I know that locally here, people are trying to do different things, and some are trying to do something like every month, and and others are kind of lesser is more, and trying to have 2 or 3 main events, and I think we fall in that category where we're looking at do 2 or 3, and I think that I think we could discuss whether it makes sense to team up on 1 or 2 of them, but yeah.
I'm on council in North Bend, and so we're having that
Great.
conversation now as well.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Any other public comments? Sir?
Yeah, I'm assuming the noise ordinance passed,
Correct.
and
It did.
in your message to me, I didn't understand it a little bit. What were you able to get the change in?
You had asked about the distance from the property line?
Oh, so you
And-
were able to put in that 125?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I wanted to thank you guys all. It's been a long struggle, and I haven't always been a good boy.
right.
And I've been, it's been a long struggle, and Mike, you've got a run of it. I mean, Kim, she's,
That's right.
saw me coming in the door a couple, oh crap. And Jim, and so like I said, it's been a long battle. And then when Jim called, or I called Jim the other day, and he said, we don't have the 125 people. That's not gonna help, because you all got irate telephone calls on Sunday evening about 8 o'clock, and there would have been nothing we could have done if that wouldn't have been in there. So God bless you all.
Sorry it took this long, but I'm glad we were able to get it
Government
across the
doesn't
finish
work like
line.
the real world, and that's just the way it is. And I wish the police were here, or the representative there, so I could thank them, because they've been a tremendous support over the years, and
Good.
the last couple of years on that. And Officer Harvey particularly has been a real help.
Good.
He's gone out of his way to try to keep it down. And it was tough, because you don't have something, and you got to go out to a customer or a resident and say, hey, turn it down. So I really thank you all.
Absolutely.
And you made my day with the 125.
So, good. Glad we could do.
Anything else from the public? Comments from the board? Trustee Robinson?
As was briefly mentioned by Trustee Volrath, he and I attended the fire department swearing in and promotional ceremony last night, held right here. I just want to congratulate and commend all of the individuals that were officially sworn in as full-time firefighters, and those promoted in their new roles. And I thought it was put together great. I think that the chief, Sissy, everybody just did a top-notch job, and I particularly love seeing the families. We often talk about our first responders and how they work crazy hours and different shifts, and that it is definitely a team effort. So it was great to acknowledge and thank the spouses and the children that were there to see their loved one get pinned with a new badge, and so that was exciting. Not really going to go into too much, but again, as was also mentioned, Jim and I attended the OTA Winter Conference, and one of the highlights of that was there was a panel discussion on property taxes. And if you're not already inundated with information on that, you're about to be over the next several months. And Bill Seitz, former state representative, Bill Seitz was on the panel, as well as a county auditor and a state rep that's sort of focused on a lot of legislation on this topic. And so I know I brought up previously having an ambassadors meeting or two in the coming months, and Jim and I had talked, Mr. Brett and I had talked, that maybe one of the highlights or focuses of one of those ambassadors meetings could be property taxes, because I think it's incumbent upon us to help inform and educate the residents on that topic, but also listen and be heard and see what they have to say. And so I think that could be a good discussion to be had. So I guess reiterate and bring up again the request that we get that on the calendar if the board is supportive of it, and try to push that out. So I think that there's plenty of things we could talk about with the township, but particularly that's going to be top on a lot of folks' minds and interest. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Trustee Blanton?
I just got a few things. So our maintenance department did a great job on our snow removal again with our big snows in February. It was just, everybody went through the same thing, but they're out there doing a great job. Wayne Miller and the rest of our crew, they do a great job for the township. I got a ton of calls about it, and I think they just go above and beyond, so I really do. So like Jim said, I attended the meeting with Jim last Friday. We're going to start meeting bi-weekly on the new park. Now, I don't know if anybody's been by it, but it's going to be a great addition to West Park now. It's really going to be nice. So the next thing I have is I've been working with Lori McKenna with ordering our banners. So we're ordering. And I haven't got a price yet if it's going to come out of their budget or we're going to pay for it. That's why I haven't notified you about it, so to bring it up to the board yet. But our banners that we put up in our parking lots here and then at West Park will be America 250 anniversary. So also I've been kicking around the idea about doing T-shirts, and I wanted to bring that up for discussion. I think it's something we could do, relatively inexpensive, something we could give out at the concerts, and I don't know, maybe order 200 or 300 of them with Miami Township. America 250 on the front logo and Miami Township on the sleeve, American flag on the other sleeve, just a white T-shirt so everything's red, white, and blue. So that's my thoughts on that. And then, Jim, I'll reach out to you on that, and then you can reach out to Tim and Mike and get their thoughts on it, and we can go from there. But we need to do that sooner than later. So
Yeah.
And I'm working with Lori on the banners right now.
Okay. And we have some thoughts on that T-shirt, so I'll get with you on that.
Okay. You got thoughts on it, or we have?
Well, we actually advertised for people to submit designs, and we have a design that,
Oh, I haven't seen anything.
well, that kind of got lost in the carry to Lindsay transition, but we have a really nice design that I think we were all happy with that I was going to bring to you guys. Mm-hmm. And Lindsay has got a lot on her plate because I think this job was a little more than what she expected. She had her first run-in with somebody who really didn't follow the rules the other night, over the weekend, and she handled it well. But she's been just swamped in trying to learn everything. So I'll send that to all of you
and
and see what you think.
I have an idea on what exactly, not exactly, but an idea of what I would like.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mike and Tim would have their ideas too. So.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do that, and we'll try to get that done and approved by next month.
All right.
Yeah, next month.
Okay. I've really got nothing other than to say a fire department event, really nice. It was good to meet some of the new young firefighters coming in there, and it's always nice when you can meet the family. So, and again, as Trustee Blanton had mentioned, the maintenance crew did a fantastic job here. And I think this was the first time, even with as much snow, that really didn't have all that trouble getting around. So it's not like New York right now. So good stuff there. All right. I need a motion to go into executive session as required by the Ohio Administrative Code Rule 3358, 17-1-04.2, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public official, public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing by Division G1 of Section 121.22 of the revised code, specifically to discuss legal counsel, law director for the township.
I'll make a motion that we go in executive session that's read into the record by trustee Volrath.
And I will second, but I also want to not forget the maintenance crew as well. So like my colleagues, I just want to give them a shout out as well. So great job to Wayne and the crew.
Okay,
I will
Mr.
second.
Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
And that was at 7:45 PM.
Yeah.
All right, we are back from executive session. Mr. Brett?
We need a motion to return to regular session at
I'll make a motion, we return to regular session out of executive session.
Second?
7:57.
Roll call.
Sorry, Mr. Blanton?
Here.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, then we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
And Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Yes. Well, 7:58.